Hey MPN fans, welcome to another episode of MPN Power Players. I'm your host Greg Jones, and today is a special episode of MPN Power Players. It's our top 20 under 40, and our first guest for the series is Paul Davis. He's the Director of Sales and Marketing at Automatic Distributors. Paul, thanks so much for being in the studio
Well,
today.
thanks for having me. It's nice to see the new studio. This is definitely a big change from the last time I was here.
Absolutely, yeah, we're trying to step our game up here in the video
It
world.
looks good. It looks good.
Well, again, we appreciate you being here. I understand, you're coming in from Boise, and I know Automatic Distributors is in Maine, correct?
Yeah. We're primarily located in Maine. We've got warehouses, across the country. Most notably, we're really excited to announce our brand new warehouse in Reno, Nevada, which just
Awesome.
expands our footprint. So, we're really excited to start shipping out of that warehouse.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, more distribution on the west
Yes,
coast there.
yes.
Great. Well, Paul, again, appreciate you being here. Obviously, you've been in the industry a while. You know a lot of folks in the industry, and they probably know you. But for the folks that might not be familiar with you and a little bit about Automatic, let's start with a little bit of background and kind of how you got into this industry.
Oh, well, just in general, I mean, I love anything with two wheels.
Yeah.
Motorcycles have always been a passion of mine. Although I didn't grow up with them, I still rode them with my friends and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I was a young man when I first started riding, street bikes, and then obviously loved dirt bikes, UTVs. I mean, I like to ride anything really, but my first entrance into this industry was with a brand that's very close to me, and I grew up snowboarding in Idaho,
Okay.
and I've always been a Dragon Alliance guy, and both with moto and with snow. And
Yeah.
even at 13 years old, I was wearing Dragon goggles, and then this opportunity comes up to work with with Dragon, and honestly, I got the job, and it was like a dream come true to
Sure.
get
Yeah.
to meet the people behind that product that I'd been wearing for so long. And from there I held a bunch of different roles within other distributors,
Hmm.
and inevitably leading me to Automatic, which has been a really great company.
Yeah.
I've been with them about 2.5 years now, and
Okay.
we're on the gas and having fun and growing like crazy.
Yeah, excellent. Now, you mentioned a little bit about Automatic's distribution in terms of where you guys are located and a new one opening up in Nevada. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the brands that you guys sponsor and just kind of?
We have a couple in-house brands. Our Katahdin Gear is our snow brand, which is really picking up speed. So we're going to be at all the major shows this year. In addition to that, titanium,
Mhm.
axles, batteries, and we're just really putting a lot of effort into obviously building those brands.
Yeah.
We do share a lot of the same brands as our competitors. Parts Western Tucker.
Mhm.
We're very, very competitive. We definitely are amongst the top, the top four in the country. But we're adding new brands on a regular basis.
Yeah.
As our team grows
Yeah.
and starts to mature, and we start to bring in, outside influence, it just allows, a lot of really great brands to hop on board and, let us,
Yeah.
sell it for them.
Yeah. Off the top of the head, do you know how many brands you guys support and distribute?
Oh, we have over 375
Wow.
vendors
Wow. Yeah.
and growing.
Yeah.
I mean, that number is actually probably old,
Yeah. Yeah.
so.
That's great. Yeah, that's a lot. That's awesome. Now, again, you've been in the industry a while, and you've been in distribution for a while. Here at Automatic Distributors, is there a favorite aspect of your role? Is there something that you enjoy, maybe within the company, but just in the industry too? Like,
That's a tough question. I mean, I love being in distribution just in general.
yeah,
There's so many different things to do, I guess. As far as Automatic, I love working with the teams. I love having both the marketing and the sales aspect. I think that that's something that's unique to myself, is being able to bridge that marketing sales gap that is out there.
sure.
I love both. I've got a passion for both. I've got a lot of history in both. So honestly, I really love the team. The team is excelling. Our owner Jeff Graham he's fantastic. Really is open to a lot of new change and challenges and thinking outside of the box. So there's been a lot of change and growth for myself being with Automatic, just with how cultivating the culture is. So
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's great to hear. And again, you mentioned you've been the company a little over 2 years, and
Yeah.
yeah, long way to go, right?
Yeah, yeah, long way to go.
Yeah. So again, Paul, you said you didn't necessarily grow up in the industry, but you've been around motorcycles and power sport vehicles most of your life, and I wanted to ask. I know you ride. What are some of your favorite bikes or
Well,
vehicles that you've had in your life?
I'm a big fan. My first bike was a GSXR 600, which was a lot of fun. I was way too young to have it. Thankful to have lived through it. But I wanted to be responsible about it and learn how to ride that bike before I started doing, dumb stuff, which inevitably happened, of course. But, thankfully I never laid it down, which, obviously that can happen.
Sure.
Life expectancy, I think at the time, I think I was 18 years old when I got it. Insurance said went down to like 6 months or something.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
Wow.
it was different times.
Thought you were going to say maybe 50 or something.
No, not at all. But that was fun. And, but at the same time, I've always loved dirt bikes and I've always ridden them. My first dirt bike was a 98 KX 125, which was a lot of fun. But I mean, coming in on a two-stroke, I'm a four-stroke guy, and I'll be honest, like there's a lot of people in this industry who just, they started on two strokes. It's a completely different bike to ride versus a four-stroke. So I wasn't the best at it.
Yeah.
I mean, even to a point where, the first time I tried to load that thing as a young man into a lifted truck, I literally went up, dropped it on the ground, almost on top of myself. It was embarrassing. But no, dirt bikes, Suzuki's always been a really good buy for me. I tend to lean toward, Suzuki's for street bikes, and my first dirt bikes were all Suzuki's, just RMZs, RMC 250s, 450s, and but then for some reason, Team Green got me a little bit, so I bought the brand new Monster Edition back in '04, I believe it was. I can't remember the date specifically. It was the Monster Edition, and that thing, it sucked me right in. I bought that brand new off the showroom floor, and then from then, most of my dirt bikes have all been Kawasaki's.
Okay.
But being in distribution, I've always liked to make sure that I'm in touch with a lot of everything. So UTVs, my previous role with Western Powersports, I had an opportunity to participate in a lot of photo shoots. So I've gotten to ride just about everything.
Yeah.
And so I've actually switched over to riding Harleys just to connect with that particular world because,
Right. Yeah, it's so different from everything you just
V-twin and metric is completely different. Yeah. So, and I got a big old Street Glide, which honestly I love because the speakers are blasting in my face, which I really like. And it's just such a different feel than a sport bike.
Right. Yeah, you're riding it for a different purpose, right?
Yeah.
And you're out there on the road, and it's just in a different way, right?
Well, and I get made fun of for, getting older. And of course I buy this, super comfortable Street Glide, which is not the case. So clearly I'm under 40. But I do want to get back to riding street bikes again. It's just something about that I miss, it's in my blood and I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. No, it's cool. You've had, so many different bikes in your life. And as you said, the sport bikes, the dirt bikes, and now you got the Harley too thrown in the mix. So get to experience it all.
Honestly, the bike I ride the most is my KLX 110L. It's, pitted out. I take it camping, ride it through the neighborhood. My son's got one as well. So, I don't even ride my big bike as much as I should.
Yeah.
I mean, work kind of takes precedence over that. But, my 110 is probably my favorite bike just because it's a lot of fun. You can get in trouble on it pretty easy, but you can get out of trouble pretty easy on it as well.
Yeah. So, my next question was going to be to ask you if you got a good story or two, which I know you do because we've chatted about it in the past. I don't know, is there one that you want to share with the folks?
Oh, I don't know. I've done a lot of, great stuff, but also a lot of stupid stuff. That's how you learn, right? I like dirt bikes over street bikes because I can't get tickets. I can go as fast as I want and I can do wheelies. I can do whatever I want and I'm not going to get in trouble. Whereas it's really, it's exciting to do wheelies and do all the illegal stuff on a street bike, but at the end of the day, like it's just not worth getting tickets anymore, and things. It's not like it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I have a million different stories, a lot of good wrecks. Thankfully, I haven't been in the hospital. I know a lot of my friends have broken just about everything. I didn't really get into racing all that much, so I do love woods riding single track. But I mean, I could go on for days about stories. I don't know.
Yeah.
Really, my only memories are my wrecks. But again, this is what I love about being in distribution is promoting all the brands that help protect me. Because honestly, every
Sure.
single time I wreck is head, shoulders, knees, something.
Yeah.
And I am a huge promoter of wearing everything from head to toe, and even though it can be
Yeah.
expensive sometimes. But I haven't broken anything,
Right.
and I haven't hurt myself bad enough just because of the protection that I've always had.
No, that's great. Yeah. Yeah. Big shout out to all the
Yeah, to all the brands, all the brands.
all the brands making that stuff really safe and safe, comfortable, and good looking. It's it's a tough job if somebody's doing it, right?
It is, and they advance fast. I mean, the moto gear, I love it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great moto gear out there.
Yeah.
So,
Is there a specific moto gear that you like wearing? You don't necessarily name brands, but just styles or.
well, I mean, typically it's hot when I ride, so anything light for the
Yeah.
most part. I've ridden in just about everything, and I think that for the most part, the gear companies that are around right now I mean, the technology that goes into this and the work that goes into this is all so equally matched. It's almost like saying, what bike is better, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Honda, at one point in time, they're all personal preference at that point.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
you know,
Yeah. Excellent. Paul, something we were talking about earlier too, again, going back to the fact that you didn't necessarily grow up in the industry, but you got involved in it. And now you're at the point that you are in your career now where you want to encourage other folks to, get involved in this industry, the people that maybe are just starting out, like how can they dig deeper into the industry? What do you want to say to those types of folks?
well, I came from the very, I guess you can say, professional suit and tie sales industry, which I think has given me an advantage in the success of the sales ability that I have. Also, owning a business very young gave me a tremendous amount of information and knowledge in marketing and sales and self-promotion,
Yeah.
which I think has helped aid me in that. Honestly, what got me into the industry was building a relationship. My first job in the industry was because I had built a really good relationship on the outside,
Yeah.
with the current brand that I was working with. So that's what got me in. It's like, if you want to get in this industry, find a way. There's always a way, but networking and building relationship is definitely how it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in most industries, networking is probably the most powerful tool you have.
Yeah.
At your fingertips.
Sometimes it's who you know, not what you know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, that's good advice. Well, Paul, I'll leave you with just kind of a forward-thinking question. Whether it's personally, professionally, or just kind of in the industry, what are you excited about? What are you looking forward to, this year, next year, just kind of down the road?
Well, like I said, coming out of, the COVID boom was really, really great for, a lot of us. Obviously, we saw that. Now that things are leveling out, I think it's important that we focus on, and the marketing abilities to getting, new butts in the seats. That's definitely what we really want.
Yeah.
Is, to inspire the younger generations to hop on motorcycles, UTVs, ATVs, watercraft, I may be. I think
a lot of options, right?
Yeah, there is. I think opportunities like this, which I'm very thankful for being here, just allows, a perspective from someone, such as myself. And I know there's a tremendous amount of other people, but from a vendor to distribution to even dealerships who have their own story that, might inspire somebody, younger to maybe get off their phone, and, twist the throttle, which ultimately, once they figure out, is the better option.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I think all of us, focusing on that, brings us together as an industry and just making sure that we can continue to move it forward.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Yeah, there's nothing like getting outdoors and experiencing what this industry has to offer, right?
And it offers a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Paul, we appreciate you being in today.
Thank you much.
Appreciate you being here. Guys, we appreciate you watching. Make sure you're checking out Automatic Distributors and checking out the brands that they carry and distribute. And as always, make sure you're checking out Motorcycle and Powersports News for more motorcycle and powersports content. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.